Okay, so welcome to our sixth Pleonic webinar. Matej already introduced me. I'm Blaž Rožman and I'm a head of development and construction. Today you are all attending to our webinar where we are going to talk about the complete solutions for cheese production. This webinar we will upgrade with the knowledge with a business plan. So through this 15 minutes presentation, you will be able to find arguments and informations which are needed to encourage future cheesemakers to invest in milk processing equipment. So imagine that you have a customer who is dreaming about making his own cheese, or maybe he found out some niche market where he could be competitive at, but he doesn't have any courage to invest. He doesn't have the courage to start producing or to change his life or just start living his dream. Now we are able to offer you a new innovative tool. It's a business plan which can help you and your customers to get the idea how they can reach their dream and how can they add value to their milk. So in the last webinar, you already talked with Gaspar about complete solutions for cheese production. We discussed there 3 different types of cheese diaries that recommend as complete solutions. So there were basic, advanced, and professional. Each diary for different frequency of weekly production, different products, and recommendations. So today we're going to make a business plan for a professional diary version. So for the last one in the column. So to start or to make a business plan, we first need to calculate the revenue. Then we will need to add energy costs. So these are the variable costs and also the fixed costs. All this together will give us the profit, which we are all interested in. Yeah. So let's start with the customer who has 300 liters milk per day. If he sells all milk, so each day, so he will have 2100 liters per week. His revenue will be around 36,000 euros. But if he decides to invest in the Pleonic complete solution, he can add value to his milk. Let's say he will be working 3 times per week with semi-hard cheese and still sell the milk 4 times a week. With milk processing and still selling the raw milk, he will have a major jump in 72,000 euros. So he will double the revenue with investment in the cheese dairy equipment. So the revenue difference is 36,000 euros. But okay, this calculation is pretty simple, but now we also need to add all the costs. So if we start with the variable cost that in our case are called energy cost, they represent the labor cost, then the production costs, and also the costs needed for thermal treatment. On the screen, you will be able to see down below all the values that we integrated into the business plan. All the values that you have seen were determined for the pro version of the kettle on the regime that you see on the screen. With this regime, we were able to calculate the exact working hours per batch in order to determine how much time will the farmer need to invest each week in cheese production. Since we already have the MC500 controller, which allows you extended programs and that you have the thermal treatment as you want, there is a need only in crucial phases that the operator is present. So for the cheese production on the beginning, then while adding culture, rennet, and during cutting. Then the operator needs to be present only on the beginning and on the end of each phase of pressing, salting, and ripening. So on the diagram, you can see that the blue color represents the automatic operations and the red is when operator is present. For the pressing, salting is shown here only for the presentation purpose. So we have the complete thermal treatment. So if the customer makes cheese 3 times per week and still sells the raw milk, he will need to invest 8 hours of his time per week. That means that on the annual basis, that means a cost of 17,000 euros. So here is also the labor cost, the cost of milk, and also the thermal treatment cost. Here you are all able also to see 15,000 euros. This is only the costs of producing the raw milk. So on this point, I need to also to point out that we also have the controllers MC700E. So E stands for intelligence, which you can even more automate your process. You can add also automatic dosing of the culture or rennet, add a volume sensor, or you can regulate the secondary temperature of the stove water and also add a pH sensor. So you can also more automate this process, which you can see on the screen. Okay, so the next we need to add the fixed costs into the calculation, which are also important to complete the business plan. Here I need to point out that the costs except the equipment costs are not the part of our business plan. But in this calculation, you will see how to calculate them. It is important that the rest of the costs are consistent with your market and also your client situation. So they need to be added additionally by you, and we can then add it into the complete business plan. So these additional costs are equipment costs, cost of space, cost of sales, and administration costs. We will now go through the example, so you will see the principle how to prepare this part of business plan for your clients. So before we calculate the value of the equipment, we also need to know the equipment which is necessary for semi-hard cheese production. As you know, we are offering the complete solution, and this is one of them. It contains the SKH professional kettle and working platform or elevating device for ergonomic work. It has 75% stirrer for better mixing, planetary gear with cheese harps, then steering showers for curd drying, and also for pressing and pre-pressing POS 50, two-part mold, and salting vat. All these fixed costs, all this equipment is a value of approximately 35,000 euros. This is the value for this presentation, so we can complete the business plan. So if you take now this value, 35,000 euros, and account it with 5-year amortization period, the yearly costs are going to be 7,000 a year. We also took in account a cost of space, which we took 50,000 euros, and we make it amortization period for 10 years, that is 5,000 euro per year. Regarding the cost of sales and administration, we took 10 and 5% of our revenue difference between selling only raw milk and also producing cheese 3 days per week. So the amount that we calculated on the beginning. So 10%, that is 3,600 euros, and 5%, it's almost 2,000 euros. If we now sell only raw milk, our profit, when we deduct all the expenses to make milk, is approximately 10,000 euros. So now if we take all the parts together, which we now calculated, we will get the real deal, so the profit, which we are all interested in. So the revenue calculation was 72,000 euros, and we need to deduct the energy cost, so the 17,000 and 15,000 euros, and also the fixed costs, so the 17,400 euros. So all this together, the customer working 3 times per week with a 3-liter batch and also sell the raw milk 4 times can earn astonishing 22,600 euros per year. So we have doubled the profit which we could earn only by selling the raw milk. And don't forget that this number is only gets bigger when the amortization period is over, and also when the market expands. You also, when you invest, you also are not dependent on the price of the milk, because you have the price of your cheese, because you upgraded or you added value to your milk. So now you all seen this profit. Now I can make you an rhetorical question. Who wouldn't order the Playonic complete solution? And that was all from my side. So if you have any questions, you're invited to ask them. You can also write it down into the chat. So no problem. We can all make this kind of plan for different type. So if the customer sells hard cheese, semi-hard cheese, if he sells also whey or something like that, if we get the information from you that you have a customer who is on that edge that he's going to order, but he needs another push, please let us know, and we can prepare this kind of business plan for your clients. It would be then easier for you guys to make a deal. You can also write the questions on email to your representative or something like that. You can contact the contact person. So maybe that's Matea, Claudio, or with whom you are talking to. Then thank you all for attending this webinar. I hope you see I hope that you see the positive aspects of it, and we really want to try to help you guys to succeed. We're here. I wish you good luck and make a good deals.